What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and today I'm going to be talking about how Crash Bandicoot Sane Trilogy is insanely hard. Now, this video is the first of the 3 videos that you can comment on. One comment and have a chance to win the Crash Bandicoot giveaway. This is the first of the 3. There'll be another one out tomorrow, and then the review will be out Monday. So this one's just going to basically be a discussion. I'm going to have gameplay playing over this, but I just want to talk about the game a little bit, kind of do like a review of it, talk about kind of my thoughts of it, but center it around that Crash Bandicoot is hard. Now, I remember it being hard. I remember it being extremely hard. But for some reason, I feel like I did better as a kid playing this game. I just turned 21, and this game is so difficult. In fact, I would argue that playing Next Machina, a game that we've had content on Podcast Now, I'd argue that that game, in some ways, is easier than Crash Bandicoot. And it's for a couple different reasons. And Nick and I talked about this in the preview for Crash Bandicoot 2, in that it's a game that is simplistic, and sometimes, and obviously a lot of games really center around the simplicity of them, and that's what makes them hard. Just because they're simple games does not mean they're easy. And Crash Bandicoot is one of those games. I died so many times in Crash Bandicoot, it got frustrating. In some ways, it's the game. It really is sometimes the game. Its depth perception isn't the greatest. It has trouble sticking, like Crash will stick or enemies will kind of stick. Like in the way that it moves, literally when you jump. Sometimes, like the hit detection of this game or where it places your character, it's not the best. And obviously that's what the game used to be anyway. And I'm not blaming the people that made this game. They have done a phenomenal job. And I'll talk about that more in the review. They've done a phenomenal job of making this a 2017 version of Crash. I cannot believe how insanely good it looks. It looks fantastic. But in terms of difficulty, these games, all 3 of them, 1, 2, and 3, they are hard. And what is weirder about this game, and Tim Geddes said it well too, is that it's poorly paced. Now I believe he said Crash 1 is poorly paced. I think a lot of them are poorly paced because some of them, you'll be playing a level where it's one of the easiest things in the world. It's very simple platforming. You don't have to do much. You know, the enemies are straightforward. But other times you're in the dark and the platforms are moving and they're shifting and they're breaking and you have kind of like a time limit on yourself and the enemies are stupid and, you know, or just the environment. Sometimes the environment is just insane. The boss levels, that Ripperoo, for the love of Jesus Christ, he needs to die. Because I've never died. So I think I died easily 15 times on him before I got it. And it's not even that difficult. It's just that this game, the game thrives on the difficulty. Crash Bandicoot is a hard game. It always was, and it still is. These are not easy games to beat. These are not easy games to platinum if you plan on platinuming it. You need to basically have a perfect everything. You need to be perfect on every world, every level of every game. Time trials and all. Collect all the gems, like everything. So that's going to be very difficult if I ever want to do it, which I would. I do like platinuming games, so I would want to. It's just we'll have to see. But, you know, I think, so Pat was on with me when I was playing these games the first night it came out, and I had amassed like 21 lives. I had 21 lives. And I think I lost 17 lives on one level. And I amassed those because of a couple easy levels, and then there was a hard level that just destroyed me. But I want this to more, not really be about criticizing it, because I want to really have a discussion. I want to know what you guys think of games like this, games that are hard in the way that Crash Bandicoot's hard. Do you remember it being difficult as a kid? I want to know. I want you guys to respond to this. This is basically the comment that I'm going to want from this video. So if you're doing this for the giveaway, remember I said you can't just write I want this for PS4 on this video. That would not count. That doesn't count as a comment. A comment on this video, I want you guys to talk about if you remember it being this hard when you used to play it, or any memories you've had of Crash. I'm having a blast playing this game. I'm really, really loving it. It's really bringing me back. Like, I remember these levels, I remember these enemies, and that's what I think is so cool about it. But the difficulty spike, again, difficulty, it is I feel like I did way better at this when I was 10 years old. I really do. I don't know if it's because I didn't know what I was doing back then, or Pat even mentioned maybe it was because I was lucky. Maybe I just got lucky back then. Because you're younger and maybe you do things by accident. You don't actually realize what you're doing. But this time around, I'm trying to strategize. I'm trying to do this, do that. I'm trying to get all of the boxes. I'm trying to break every box in every mission, and that's proving to be tough, and that's kind of putting yourself in a dangerous situation more than you need to be. But it's mainly the platforming levels too, or like the levels where you play as Crash or as Coco. Not really when you're riding the Tiger, you're riding like any of the riding levels, even the racing, Crash Warped, when you have like the actual races. Those aren't even that difficult. It's mainly, I'm talking about the depth perception, the jumping, the enemies hitting you when they really doesn't look like they're supposed to hit you. The bosses, weirdly enough, being way more difficult than I remember them, even though they only take 3 hits to die, and they all have a very select pattern. So I want to know what you guys have been thinking of Crash Bandicoot so far, from what you've seen from me, from what you've seen from other people. What do you guys think? What do you guys remember of it? What do you guys think of the difficulty? I would say this is easily one of the most difficult games I've ever played, right up next to Next Machina for just different reasons. Next Machina is a very different kind of game than Crash, and yet I'd argue Crash in some ways is more difficult than Next Machina. But they do it for a reason, and Crash does have that feel. Like I feel like I'm playing Crash. They remastered it perfectly. This is exactly what I would imagine. So let me know what you guys thought about all that. Make sure you subscribe to Podcast Now, our YouTube channel. Like, share this video, and I will see you guys for tomorrow's special Crash video.